welcome, everyone to Aftermath of Dynamite here on Workhouse Wrestling Network. We're here with our Director of Chaos, ALW. I am the voice in the sky, Dolores. Anika, the Ruby Queen, will be on her way soon. But until then, let us do a little cleanup. Sorry, we're a little late. We had a
This
lot
is
of stuff
like
to get through. Huh?
this reminds me of a dubbed over movie. It's my face and your voice. So I'm just gonna move my mouth and pretend like I'm talking, but you're actually hearing your voice. That's
Here
hysterical.
she go. Here she go. Here she go. Ladies and gentlemen, up to the stage. Anika, the Ruby. Oh, she got her camera on today. Okay. Excuse the Ruby Queen. Yes, look at that. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, today on Aftermath of Dynamite, as you saw in the description and the picture, we will be going over reviewing Full Gear because we did have a watch along, but we didn't come back to talk about it. Sorry, we had to have a vacation. And
Oh, okay, that's
we'll
right.
be talking about Collision and Rampage from last week, which, ladies and gentlemen, went up against a WWE pay per view. And we only know what happens. It went downhill. And we'll talk about Dynamite from last night. Okay? So,
Sounds
how did
good.
you all? Hey, Jared. Hey, Jared.
What's up,
Jared,
Jared?
talk.
Thanks for being here with us.
Hello, darling.
Thanks for all the love you give us on your channel. Well, we appreciate that. Give the love
Yes.
back. Anyone that's here that's not subscribed to Jared Talks, check it out. Please subscribe.
Yeah.
Yep, yep, yep.
We're going to start off, ladies and gentlemen, with AEW Full Gear. We're going to start off with the 0 hour
What?
of
Oh,
matches.
okay.
You remember we weren't here?
What
We
we
weren't here
doing?
for like a
Okay.
whole week.
We did the watch along, but
Okay,
then we didn't have. Yeah, we were gone for the week.
we
So
didn't talk about it. Y'all, they didn't get y'all a one-on-one opinion of it.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Always world title match. We're just gonna go over it. If you feel compelled to talk about it, do so. World ROH world title match. We had Eddie Kingston defeating Jay Lethal. Next
I'm just
up on
glad.
the
I'm
zero
just glad
hour.
Eddie won. That's all I'll say.
I was
Okay,
glad
just
too
about
because
that
I'm
match.
sick.
I do like that story. I do like the story they're trying to tell about Jay Lethal being back to being his wrestling self and stop and trying to diss slap nuts. But they're not telling it. They're not giving it the energy that it needs to give. But it's a good story. I wish they would tell it better.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right.
Next up, Claudio Castagnoli defeated Buddy Matthews.
It's tough when like this sleep. This was like a really good match. This could have been on the main card. Don't get me wrong. I complain all the time about how the pay per views, especially AEW, are too long and too dense. You don't need 14 matches or 11 or whatever it is. But at the same time, like it feels like Claudio and Buddy should be on the main card somehow. I don't know. I don't know how or what to do, but
No, most definitely. I made the joke when this happened. I wanted to on Rampage. I'm like, see, it was TK that said it don't feel like a AEW review. We gotta add two more matches, but this one definitely needed just a little bit more hype.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the last match of the 0 hour was for the ROH World Tag Team title. MJF and Samoa Joe. Make sure you remember Samoa Joe is the replacement for Adam Cole. Defeated the Gun.
Yep. Obviously, we know why this was on the 0 hour because MJF had to do double duty that night, and so get it
Yeah.
early and let Joe carry most of the weight. I mean, MJF did work in the ring. Don't doubt that. But Samoa Joe definitely was there too, so that he could do the bulk of it. No, I mean it is what it is. I like the storyline. I mean, we'll talk about it as we get on to Dynamite and to Rampage and Collision and Dynamite. But this ongoing Samoa Joe MJF story, I like it. I'm here for it. So
That's the main
Okay.
purpose for Samoa Joe
Yeah.
and MJF.
yeah.
Now we're on to the main card of AEW Full Gear 2023. We had Adam Copeland, Darby Allin, and Sting with Ric Flair in their corner, defeating the Patriarchy, which was Christian Cage, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne.
Yeah, I mean, I'm here for the Christian Cage, Adam Copeland stuff. It got really good last night on Dynamite. We'll obviously talk about that, but I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I like that we get uh, the kill switch reference. Now Luchasaurus is now kill switch. I like
Oh
that.
God.
I kind of popped when they said that. I'm not sure when I mean, I just noticed it. I think last night for the first time, but obviously that's not the first time that they've said that, or that's not when they gave him the name. I guess I must have missed that, um, but yeah, no, I mean, I I understand why Sting's winning. He's on his farewell tour, and he's not going to lose at the moment. So I get why they won here, and it is what it is. I mean, okay.
Yes.
I'll say this. Because things seem genuinely surprised when they're like, here is your goodwill present, Ric Flair. So that tells me he didn't ask for him to be there. We're going to talk about it more, but it's like, it wasn't bad that he was here. But why is he here? Sting does not need Ric Flair for his goodwill tour. But
Yeah.
great, yeah, great match. In the follow up is even better.
Next up for the AEW International title, we had Orange Cassidy with Hook in his corner, defeating John Moxley with Willa Yuta in his corner.
Yeah, I don't got nothing to say about this.
That was Full Gear.
Yep. Right. It all blends together. Plus, Full Gear was like a week and a
Oh, no,
half
no,
ago
no,
now.
no. I thought it was. I read and heard that wrong. My mind said tag team. It wasn't a tag team match. Oh, no. It was 1-on-1 with them in their corner. Yeah.
Yes.
Very good match. Not as good as All In, but at All In they had something to no, All Out they had something to prove, right? So, but yeah, good match. Um, we know what Mouse is doing. We don't know what Orange Cassidy's doing, which is kind of like, come, if he's
I
gonna
mean, yeah,
win,
when we get to the previews, we might figure out a little bit. But
a little
next
bit.
up, ladies and gentlemen, was our first title change, and it was for the AEW Women's World Title. Tony Storm defeated Hikaru Shida.
What they?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone kind of saw this coming ultimately, just because of how over Tony Storm was. You know, I it is. You know, I mean, I guess I'm happy that she's a champion now because she's great at the moment. And so the more Tony Storm we can get, the better. Um,
She,
you know, I maybe you could have the argument that Sheeta deserved a little bit better on
it's
this
not an
reign.
argument. She does.
I mean, it's what her second or third. I mean, it's her third time holding the belt, right? So I mean, it's not like this was her first time and she only held it for a month. You know, she had a better. I felt like she had a better run with it than Saraya did. Now, honestly, she should. She's a better wrestler, but neither of them had great runs. I mean, Tony Khan doesn't book women well. I mean, he doesn't care all that. I mean, I think he cares more than Vince ever cared, but he doesn't still doesn't book them well. I mean, I don't, you know. So
You already said what I said. She deserves better. I get it, but yeah, and I think and all of this would be resolved if you don't put the belt on Sriracha at All In. Just let Sheeta be the champion from then on till now. I would feel a little bit better, a little bit
yeah.
better. Whatever.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next match is for the AEW World Tag Team Title four-way ladder match. I'm going to give my team my new name. Blicky, Big Bill, and Ricky
Blicky.
defeated the Kings of the Black Throne and La Fashion Ingolnabe and FTR.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm happy that Big Bill and Ricky are on the winning streak. I'm glad they won here. I like them with the titles. I thought their promo last night on Dynamite was fun. So
No, when they announced it was a ladder match, it got turned up 5 notches. These teams are not gonna suck. Definitely not gonna suck. And yeah, definitely glad that Big Bill and Ricky are still champs. Like it still hasn't. got on got cooking on all cylinders. So yeah, very glad to have more time to get it cooking real good. This championship ring. Am I frozen or Dolores? Hi, Dolores. Can you hear me or am I odd man out? Oh gosh. If I'm not, hi people, hi good, hi darling. Uh,
Can you hear me?
yes. Okay, now I can hear you. Okay, okay, okay. I'm like, am
Okay.
I odd man out or is
StreamYard, stream, no, no, no. StreamYard kicked me out. I came back in and kicked ALW out. So yeah,
okay?
we StreamYard did like now one of us. So you are already, both of you all have given y'all opinions on the ladder match, right?
Yes, we have. Yes.
Okay. Next up for the AEW TBS title three-way, it was a title change because Julia Hart defeated Chris Statlander and Sky Blue.
I am not mad at it, right? Because at Wrestle Dream, we heard how hot Julia Hart was, right? And so it really is one of those moments like last year when it was Acclaim versus Swerve Our Glory, and it's like okay, the crowd wants this, we're gonna give it to them. Now the flip side of this is the follow up, right? Because when it is this spontaneous, you don't have a plan, but I would like you to have a plan for how like not even something concrete, but how do you want Julia Hart's reign to look? And it started off very well. We're gonna talk about on Dynamite, but yeah, I'm not at it at all. Let's because I think she's deserving and I think she can handle it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the next match is my favorite of the night. The Texas
Hmm.
Death Match with Swerve Strickland with Prince Nana defeating
Oh
Adam
no.
Page. And it should be Hangman Adam Page because he did hang.
Bruh. I will say this because, like, honestly, going back to Wrestle Dream, right? This match, Swerve versus Heyman stole the show, right? And so, and honestly, it should have been it very arguably should have been the main event if we didn't have the return of Adam Copeland. But right? And then here, once again, great match. Arguably, like I could definitely see the title being in this feud, and hopefully it will be next year, right? Because it was this great. I think someone said it perfectly. This was better than Heyman versus Moxley because of the story and the emotion behind it, right? Moxley and Heyman, yeah, he knocked him out, but it wasn't really like that serious. This one, you felt how serious it was. And I tell you this is Heyman's fault he lost because you freaking threatened Nana's weed. That's what happened. Nana got turned up 10 times because you threatened to steal his weed. He's like, oh, bet. Now I'm going to be actively helping my boy win this match. So it was Hangman's fault that he lost.
Yeah, I mean, this match was definitely the match of the night. It's definitely, probably. I mean, it's in my top five match of the year candidates at the moment. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, I think it's probably. I mean, I'd have to go back and watch a couple of the old Swerve matches, but for me, since I've been paying really close attention, it's both of their best matches I think that I've seen. So, yeah, no,
Yeah.
I thought this was great. I mean, this was, this hit everything you wanted it to. It hit on all cylinders. Both of them are excellent wrestlers, and it was everything I expected it to be, and more. It surpassed expectations for me. So,
Yeah. Most definitely.
oh, did we lose Dolores for a minute?
No extreme yard. We're a
Mm.
family. We're gonna get this together.
Right?
Listen, StreamYard doesn't want me to use headset. It doesn't like me. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna free ball it. Okay. Uh ladies and gentlemen, next up for the AEW World Tag Team title shot versus disbandment match. That means if the Golden Jets won, they got a number one contenders title shot. If the Young Bucks won, the Golden Jets had to disband and never be a tag team again.
Yep.
And again, I saw this like a vision tonight. The Golden Jets, Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega defeated the Young Bucks of Matt and Nick Jack.
Yeah, I
Whoa.
mean, I don't really have anything to say about this. I mean, other than the fact
Why?
that other than the fact that when you have a stipulation like this around guys like Jericho and Omega, you know that it's probably going to go their way. I mean, so I don't know.
What's
I'm a
the
little.
point of Jericho having a freaking tag team shot? What's the
I
point?
I get it. I don't get it either. I don't make it make sense, right? And what are the Bucks doing? They're just feels like the Bucks are just treading water, right? I mean, like I don't. Okay.
Honestly, not yeah, the whole tag team division. I don't know when it happened, but it's like, hello, you have
Yeah.
the best tag team division in the world. Why are you not paying attention to it? Because they had a tag team title shot. I think they forgot. They still reminded them. Then you do this crap and then go into the big bill. Like even though that four-way was cool, that was a like last week or last Tuesday announced that because oh wow, yeah, you have a tag team champions that need to be in full gear. So yeah.
Yeah.
I want to thank. I want to say this. I don't like Chris Jericho in the deepest part of my soul, but I do
I,
want to thank him and Kenny Omega for helping me get the win. Okay.
That hurt.
Next match up for the AEW World Title match. It was MJF with Adam Cole in his corner defeating Jay White, and Jay White had the guns in his corner. Austin and Colton Gunn.
yeah. I mean, solid match. Another notch on MJF's belt for his title run here, or his another defense, solid one uh, you know, under his reign.
So
And yeah, I mean he's gonna do this again probably a couple more times. And yeah, until somebody beats him. Probably Adam Cole when he comes back from whatever. I think that's a
very
long term storytelling here. I think that's what's the ultimate.
yeah. And this match would have been 4 stars, but it was a lot. So to give you a full scope, if you have not seen Full Gear, after the Samoa Joe match, the Guns beat up MJF, hurt his leg. He goes into an ambulance. He tells Adam Cole, "Don't let him take my title." Adam Cole is gonna replace MJF in the title match, but he still has a freaking boot on. And then right before the match starts, MJF's in the ambulance that rolls up, and then so they have a match, and then Adam Cole's trying to Adam Cole trying to help, but he doesn't do it well, and then
Yeah, I mean this was one of those where wrestling is kind of predictable, right? I mean. You knew that MJF was coming back in the ambulance, or in some way, shape, or form, he was coming back to wrestle that match. And now that he's hurt and he's coming back, there's no way that he's not going to win, right? He's there. I mean, they're making. I mean, Tony Khan is pushing him to the moon right now, and he's winning against all odds. So yeah, he beats Jay White with the guns in his corner, and it's despite being beat up earlier and everything going on. Yeah, I mean, he's a superhero at the moment. So
and and I get it. I even get why I did the whole first part because people like it was a foregone conclusion, but it is a matter of when to say when, right? When you have these ideas of how to spice up a match, and
yeah.
so having Adam take your place was a little bit too much because, bruh, he did a boot. And it's not a fake boot. It's a real boot, right?
Yeah.
And then I just worried about uh Jay White, right? It took a year and some change to finally get him back to the level of top person after his introduction to AEW wasn't the best it could be, right? And so he's still Jay White, but it really is like let's stop making it so hard for people to tell people, hey, this dude's Jay White, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all I want.
No, I
Yeah,
agree.
that's all.
I agree.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are on to Rampage. Rampage and Collision were on the same date, okay? And that was to preempt Survivor Series. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to now get in the weeds of things. So, AEW, hold on. Do, 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 do.
Rampage. That was
AEW Rampage 120 was on 11/25/23. As you see, ladies and gentlemen, parentheses, is the rating.
okay.
Knocked it out of the park going against Survivor Series. They really did. They
Hey,
started off
That's
with
not
the non-title.
fair. That's so not fair.
Wait
well,
till we get to Collision. Combined, they they
cause
they
no,
did.
you didn't have to do this, TK. You really did have to do this.
He not only brought one down, he took both of them down at the same time.
Like,
I
what was
don't know
the
how you do
point,
that.
bro? What was the
Listen,
point?
it's a 264,000, but it's the .08 rating. It got me.
Like, at some point in time, someone has to check your petty. And this is like, bro, your petty wasn't worth this.
Yeah.
Listen, we start off with a non-title match. Hook defeating Rocky Romero. Ladies and gentlemen, if you watch Seeing Stars, you can hear me say many a times. If I see Rocky Romero, I don't think a win is coming.
Yeah.
But he's so
And
good,
he is really good. And this was Hook's best match to date, I thought,
right?
for sure. He actually had some decent offense here. He had some moves where he countered Rocky and actually looked like he knew what he was finally doing in the ring. He wasn't just doing those like judo throws. He had some really nice suplexes, and it's a solid win for him. I mean, like Flores says, we know Rocky's going to take a loss, but look good in losing, which is what happened here.
Yeah, and this is actually an example of not keeping people in their bubble. Because when you have Hook that go against these people, that's how they grow. It's like, okay, yeah, so see, he's getting better in the ring, which is what we need him to do. So let's do this more.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, just like Anika was fighting our camera, Chris, that letter had to fight for her life and finally get and defeat Diamante.
And
I
then
wish
deal
that
with whatchamacallit, who came down?
Mercedes
Mercedes. Yeah, Mercedes
Martinez.
Martinez.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
great,
go ahead.
great match, great match. I wish they would have done this when she was champion. And it's just one of the things where it's like people were hurt, right? I didn't know how many women were hurt until they came back. Like, oh wow, she was hurt. But like, so you have enough bodies over at Ring of Honor. This could have been something on Dynamite or Rampage or Collision way ahead of time. But we have it now, and it was good.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought it was, fun for what it was. You have to continue to have stuff for people even when they're not necessarily in the title picture. So
Hmm.
it feels like they're trying to do that with Statlander. She's got this little, I guess, this kind of feud with Diamante that's now further fueled by Mercedes Martinez since they both attacked her. So I guess this is going to be her little storyline, which I'm here for. I mean, we'll see, see if it works out. And yeah, the more, if you've got injured, all these women that that are either injured or need to take time off on the main roster, you have that whole Ring of Honor roster. I mean, bring some up and let them work.
Like, bruh,
So, oh,
Yes.
Dolores,
So you ready? Yeah. Yeah, I didn't want to, I saw Anika moving. I was like, I didn't want to jump in, like double dutch. Uh, Next we had the Kingdom, Mike Taven and Mike Bennett. Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, sorry. I was just mixing them together. Defeated Duke Davis and Shannon Jones.
oh wow, yeah, Matt Bennett and Mike Taven, great tag team. No, I'm just kidding. uh, nah, the Kingdom are, they're shining at the moment. They're they're doing well. They're in the zone at the moment, and Their promos are solid. Their work is solid. The stuff with Roderick Strong has helped push them a lot and given them, I think, exposure to people that didn't necessarily know them before. I mean, if you're a Ring of Honor fan and you knew Ring of Honor, you obviously knew them. But if you didn't, you might not, and now you do. And so um, and this is a squash match, but it is what it is. It's a showcase for the Kingdom, and yeah.
Right. Definitely a squash match. Just tell me when they finally face MJF, right? Cause like, what's the like? How do we get so left field? It should have been them versus MJF for the ROH Tag Team titles. What are we waiting for?
Yeah, I mean, I don't, but I also don't mind the Samoa Joe MJF kind of tension as partners, and because Joe wants the belt, and I'm not opposed to that. I mean, yes, it felt like naturally it should have been the Kingdom. That's kind of the story they were telling, but so Samoa Joe is a little out of left field, but I'm also not opposed to the Samoa Joe stuff.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, to get us to here, I'm fine with, but give the Kingdom more, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
The next match is something that Tony Khan did want to speak on. He was very hurt about. There was a title change, ladies and gentlemen. For the ROH Pure title, Willa Yuta defeated Katsuri Shibata. Uh, Shibata has taken hiatus back home. So Tony did speak on that. And
What did he
so
say?
he what he did was he dodged a Punk question by saying that he legally couldn't speak on it. He did want to talk about how hurt he was that Shibata had to leave.
Uh,
What?
hmm. Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
mean, this is what the third time these two have wrestled each other for this belt. I think it's minimum the second. I
Probably.
think it's the third time. I think they've passed it back and forth a couple times now. So,
Right. Yeah.
this is a good spot for Wheeler Yuta. He's a very solid mid card worker, right? He deserves
Hmm.
to be probably around all the mid card titles in some way, shape, or form. He doesn't belong wrestling for MJF for the heavyweight championship at this point, or not the heavyweight, but the world title. But any of those, like the international belt, the or the Ring of Honor belt, all of those, he's positioned well for. So I mean, I
Very
I,
interesting because, like, I actually watched it right before we got on,
mhm.
and great match. I was surprised when Yuta won, but if so, I guess. But like, can that get me interested? Like, is the hiatus what you call it? Is the hiatus a forced thing or what?
I think he
Because
has an
Shibata,
injury.
Shibata. Say
Yeah,
again.
so I
I
mean,
think
I don't know either, but it would explain why he lost, right? If he had to take time off, so all right, well, we'll go ahead and put, you know, what you call it over,
Yeah.
Wheeler Yuta over at the moment, so I got to take a break anyhow. That's not to say that Wheeler Yuta wouldn't have won. Like I said, I think they've passed his belt back and forth a couple times, so but yeah, I mean, it would make more sense
Yeah.
if he had to take time off or at least go back home for a while or whatever. I mean,
What would you say? Would you say, Dolores?
I said I think he might have an injury. I have to double check with
yeah,
the FRS reports. But there are a
yeah,
lot
yeah.
of injuries because NJF is also injured. So
And like, if he is injured, I guess like because it's supposed to be the ultimate battle or like ROH's final pay per view this year is in 2 weeks. It's like you really couldn't wait 2 more weeks to have this match.
Yeah. I guess not. Yeah, maybe not. I mean, depending on what kind of injury it is, he was injured. So his injury before was so bad that if it's even anywhere related to his neck or anything like that, like you got to be super
Mm,
conscious, right? Like, I mean, I don't know if it
okay.
is. I don't want to speak out of touch because I don't know. I mean, I have no idea that he's even injured or that it's anything like that. But if it is, hypothetically, right, you definitely don't want to mess around with that at all. So
Yeah, most definitely.
ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna move on later on. Collision. And guess what, ladies
collision.
and gentlemen? Collision 24 on the same day did a little bit better. Just a little bit better. Just a little bit better. Okay?
So, but
So
here's
if you
but
remember,
here's the question. Here's the real question, right? We already know that AEW is not beating WWE. Not with a Rampage and a Collision against a pay per view that's one of the big four, right? So we already know that's not happening. Then you add on the return of Randy Orton. Then you add on the CM Punk stuff. And then you add on the return of R-Truth on top of it. Like, you already know that you're not beating them, then all those things. But here's the thing: you're AEW right now. We've talked about this. You've only been around 5 years. You don't need to be beating them. All you need to be doing is competing in your time slot on the channel that you're on. And I want to see what the ratings are against other programming, on other channels at that time slot, because my guess is that it was, the highest rated show on TBS or TNT that day, or whatever the case may be around that time slot with their contemporaries, which is really the important thing. So
But he
I,
didn't.
this is all I can think of is that you thought I got Edge, okay? I got Moxley, I got Flair. I'm gonna beat them on their date with their people. And the man you fired came back and said, "I'm gonna show you something."
And I want because like the whole sorry, they knew about Randy Orton. They did know about our truth. They weren't sure about CM Punk. And honestly, how sure are you about CM Punk return? Wife man.
I
Like
didn't think he was coming.
I think it was I
I
didn't think it was
knew he
coming
was
either.
coming. That was the only place that was gonna pay him. He's about being petty and getting the bag, and WWE felt both of those.
But
Yep.
eventually, but last Saturday being the actual day, I would have put 75% that he was not. It was not happening because they were dumbing it. They were dying it down so much, right? So, oh, sorry, yeah. Like, why did I say that? Did I say that? So yeah. So for you, so I wonder. I guess yeah. I definitely gotta ask TK why, right? Because let's say you're like if you really thought CM Punk was coming back, what you thought other people hated him, that people were going to tune into Collision because they hated him that much? No,
My thing
Yeah.
no.
about it is, this what got me. You, T.A., mentioned that Sunday. I don't know why WWE running pay per views on Sunday. They started running on Saturday. Then it was they want to go against my show. Then you said they preempted my pay per view when NXT came on first, and you swore they were just taking your shine. And then now you put two shows on the same night as a WWE pay per view, and that's not preempting. That's not a problem because I mean, we all knew you were gonna get beat. You always get beat when they come on Saturday. Why add another tag partner to get beat down with it?
Yeah, I don't know. Like this on fast. This is when fast is coming up or NXT something. Don't do this on Survivor Series in Chicago. Even if you think yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, first matchup on that collision was the Continental Classic. Ladies and gentlemen, they are having a Continental Classic. And this was the Blue League sets of matches. We had Claudio Castagnoli getting 3 points by defeating Daniel Garcia.
Very solid match. I like this tournament. I'm calling it the AEW G1. Um, I mean, I like it. I mean, I'm here for it. I think they've done a good job of picking guys to be in it so far. The matches have um, all been solid, and we'll talk about it and when we talk about Dynamite next. But I think it helps. See, SP3 mentioned it on True Heat, and I think he's absolutely right. I think it helps the pacing of the show because the
Yeah.
show now has more kind of direction, as opposed to just being kind of thrown together willy nilly. It feels like it has more direction. So I'm here for it. I like this match. I thought this match was good. I don't have a problem with Claudio winning. Um,
Yeah.
it's round robin, so Daniel will get a chance to have at more points. And yeah, Claudio should probably be beating Daniel Garcia. I don't know.
Yeah. most definitely. But I feel for Garcia. On he had a promo on Rampage. He was like, he said a bunch of words, and then basically he was like, I just want to prove that I'm not a loser. I'm like,
Right. Yeah. I know you
Garcia,
feel a little bad for Daniel,
you're
right?
not a loser. Just stop being a trying to be a professional sports entertainer. You're a wrestler. Stop it. And so, in his story isn't the only one that's like that. So, like you said, very interested in what stories come about during this what you call it, during this tournament.
Right.
We kind of know who's gonna win, although Dynamite got me like, interesting. But definitely, if this helps people get elevated, yeah, I'm all for that. So
Yeah.
just don't forget that while we're doing this tournament.
Ladies and gentlemen, you hear the sarcasm in my voice. We went to a killer next match.
Mm,
2-1 handicap match where Killswitch defeated the boys of
I ain't calling
Brandon and Brent.
I ain't calling this kill switch.
yeah, I mean, there's nothing to say about this. It is what it is. I mean,
Yeah.
all this does is just further, making Kill Switch look tough. I mean, I do like this. I kind of like the switch of the name from Luchasaurus to Kill Switch. But other than that, there's nothing to be said about this. Other than it's a disservice to the boys. They're better than that. They probably deserve a little bit better than that.
Just a little bit, but I am very happy that they're pushing Luchasaurus. I'm not calling it Kill Switch. I am glad they're pushing Luchasaurus a little bit better because he is a star. And it
Hmm.
does suck that he was TNT champion and we no one called him that when he had the belt. So
Right?
yeah, very interested.
The next match of Collision was the House of Black, Buddy Matthews and Malachi Black defeating Gravity and Commander with Alex Abrahantes in their corner.
I don't know why I feel like this was a guilty pleasure, but I feel like I enjoyed this way more than I should have. Like, and it's not. There's nothing wrong with it. All four guys are great wrestlers. I mean, there's no reason why I would have thought that it wouldn't be good. But this was super fun. I really enjoyed this match. I thought this was good. I like seeing Malachi Black back. I like seeing Buddy Matthews get more time on TV. He's such a good wrestler, and Commander and Gravity are getting better every time I see him. I think so.
Don't know why Bad Kai Black sent in the tournament, but fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, a name that I'm learning that after saying 5 times I cannot stand. For the AEW, the AEW TBS title House Rules match. Yes, that's a mouthful. Julia Hart, the champion, defeated Lady Frost.
I'm glad they're doing this. So I was talking about how Julia won the belt and like how her reign would look. I I love the House of Rules matches that House of Black were doing at the trios. Think they dropped the ball. It could have been really great. So I am glad they're like, we're using this. We're using this stakes. I don't know. I don't care what y'all say. Someone's doing this. So this is a great way to push Julia in her reign. So I'm all for that, definitely.
Yeah, I like it too. I like that she's using the house rules, and Lady Frost is a solid opponent, and it's a solid victory for her. So yeah, no, I mean, I so far so good with Julia with the belt. I mean, I don't have any complaints yet. So
Right? Yeah.
Next match of the night was FTR, Cash Wheeler, and Dex Harwood defeating the Righteous of Dutch and Vince.
yeah, I mean, this is a tough one for me because I feel like the righteous are really fun, and I want them to get more. But at the same time, FTR, for all intents and purposes, is one of the best five tag teams on the planet, and so they should probably be beating the righteous. But I feel like the righteous deserve more. I guess I'm not totally sure why they're having this match. Like it should be the righteous wrestling other guys that are more either in their category or a little below them, so they can get more wins and get a little bit more of a push. But okay,
Like, yeah. I loved them when I saw them when they won the thing to go against MJF for the ROH tag team titles. Right? I'm like, okay, it's Bray Wyatt S, but they're truly believable. I hate that MJF beat them in a handicap match. because you see why it's hard for you to go come back when one person beats you. That's why stop. Hopefully they will, but hopefully they'll come back because I think they look great together. I love the vibe. They really could be something in the tag team division.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next match was Keith Lee, the wrestler, not the food reviewer. Keith Lee defeating Lee Moriarty.
Was it me, or does it look like he's a few pounds lighter? I mean, not like
Oh,
substantially, but Keith Lee looked like he might be a little bit lighter. I
Oh
don't know if
yeah,
he's
if you haven't followed him, he's been in the gym and he's been taking pictures and stuff. So yeah, he's been
okay. Okay,
actively trying.
so
no,
yeah,
he's
so he
definitely
looks
like a
good.
tight.
He looks like he's losing some weight. I mean, I didn't think he looked bad before. Ask me, I don't necessarily think he needed to lose weight, but at the same time, if that's what you're trying to do, you look good. So,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, I enjoyed this match. I'm glad to see Keith Lee on my TV anytime, and I like Lee Moriarty. So, you know, I kind of think that these two with Shane Taylor promotion with Shane Taylor would work well, maybe in Shane Taylor promotion or a different faction. Like I could see these guys maybe together, but I enjoyed watching them wrestle each other too.
yeah, and more so with Keith Lee, he's probably losing the weight because his skill set. He's a person who jumps high and goes low. Like for those moves that he's like, all right, I'm gonna shave it off. So then he looks great. Uh it's crazy, right? When him and Swerve were together, and it's like, all right, it's gonna be the rivalry, and one match with Hangman, and Swerve is up here, and Keith is trying
Yeah,
to get to him. And
yeah,
hopefully, if they keep it with Swerve, Swerve loves Keith Lee, right? So if they give him a belt, and I'm pretty sure he is, I'm pretty sure we're gonna finally get this match and Keith Lee will be ready. I can't stand they have to do this hard work to get back to being a top tier mid card to main eventer. But hey, do the work. I still love you, Keith Lee. And when we get that swerve, finally get it, we will relish in it. Best
I
believe
agree.
bet.
I agree.
Ladies and gentlemen, just a caveat of why this says what it says. Eddie Kingston one time said he defends his matches, his belts in every match. But he forgot he was going to be a part of the Continental Classic. So
Uh,
he, in a non-title Continental Classic Blue League match, Brody King defeated Eddie Kingston.
As I understand it, though, that's technically not correct. Like Brody King doesn't win the titles, but the winner of this Continental Classic also wins Eddie's belts, right? He's put both his belts on the line, so the winner of this whole tournament wins three belts: Eddie's two belts and the Continental Classic belt, if I'm not mistaken.
This is what happens when you do too much.
Right?
Now I have two thoughts. I think emotion my first thought was like, okay, I think Eddie done be a champion. He's like, hey, I just want to wrestle. This is too much. This is too much work. How about can I just put these belts up from the thing? Can I please, pretty please? That's my first thought. Second thought was, this is so much. I believe what happened. I believe it was in our minds. It was gonna be whoever beats Eddie has the titles, right? But I guess they switched it to whoever wins the tournament wins
Right.
the titles, and
Correct.
that's probably way better because it really is like
Yeah.
because he just became champion. I, this, yeah,
Yeah, no, this was as Sammy Joe said in the chat, this was a banger. No, these two have good chemistry. Both hard hitters. The chopping was insane. Um, I liked everything about this. This was a classic Eddie Kingston match. Brody King is his type of opponent because they're both just kind of sluggers. You know what I mean? They'll just stand there and go toe to toe. Um,
yeah,
and he doesn't have to worry about Brody King doing a whole lot of jumping around. Um, so they can just kind of go toe to toe and do their suplexes and whatever exchange suplexes. I'm a huge Eddie Kingston fan. He's top five of my favorites right now. So um, I was disappointed that he lost, but it's a round robin tournament. He'll get plenty more matches, and he'll have opportunities to, earn points. So it is what it
Very
is. Brody King looked really good in winning. So yeah,
yeah, very happy is a round robin tournament. Very happy about that, right? We're gonna talk about more on Dynamite. He did a promo Eddie Kingston about how he was like, I'm behind the eight ball. I'm questioning myself. The way you do it, but I do believe there is a story there, and hopefully they'll have enough time to be invested in that, right? So we'll see what happens, but I'm interested. I'm invested.
even with all the guys in it, and there, I don't think there's. I think there's what 12 people in it. I think of the 12 in it, I love all 12 of them. I
Okay.
still want Eddie to win the thing, keep his belts, and have the AEW Continental Classic belt or whatever they're calling it. That would be awesome if Eddie wins the whole thing. So
Yeah. Or at least let him be in the semifinals. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna get my belts back, or something like that,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
right, yeah.
Let's. We're gonna get into AEW Dynamite from yesterday.
Dynamite from
Uh,
last night.
from last night. I'm trying to make sure because stuff. Let's say it, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes AEW likes to do last minute things.
Mm,
It wasn't a fault this time. Okay, so this is AEW from last night. This is their
Yes.
ratings and their
See,
score
that's
that
a more
was
respectable
posted.
number.
Yeah, that is not from Brandon Thurston, so I hesitate. I wobble on that line. Okay,
Right.
but when two or more agree, as they said, uh, then it's got to be right. For the Continental Classic Gold League match, we had John Moxley defeating Jay Lethal to become the first competitor to get 6 points in the Continental Classic. How did
Yeah,
you
I
all
mean,
feel about
I I don't have a problem with this. I mean, last year, I think it was last year at the Horsey Awards, I wasn't John Moxley our Wrestler of the Year. So I mean, we all know and love John Moxley, right? I mean, I do think some of I think we need a John Moxley break for a second.
No, we
I mean,
don't.
Um, I do worry that some of it might get a little stale, and maybe that's the BCC not really having any direction. Um, but I still am a huge John Moxley fan. I'm a huge Jay Lethal fan. I guess Moxley's should be beating Jay Lethal. Um, it shouldn't really surprise me that he's the first one to 6 points. He
Hmm.
very well could win this whole tournament. So
Hmm. Okay, sorry. Okay. Uh, in all sincerity, no, I love John Moxley. I'll give him on my TV. I do not care. I will say this. Yeah, BCC together needs a direction. I thought I'll say this many times I can when House of Black were triple crown, were triple what's it called, triple team.
trios.
There you go. When they're trios champion, I thought we were getting a House of Black versus BCC, and I would have loved that. We didn't get it. Moving on. That would have been hot though, right? But now we are trying to find direction. I love Moxley again. I don't think uh we need a break from him. I do think we need a direction. I more so okay. Now I'm just sorry. I'm just sputtering out. Uh, I'll say this again with Jay Lethal. You have a story right there. Let him like he didn't he I don't need him just to be the dude who takes losses, right? He is a great wrestler who's putting out bangers, right? So just one promo where he's like, I'm gonna prove to people that I don't need Team Slapnuts. I am the best, one of the best ROH champions in this game. Like just let me just say that for 30 seconds on TV, and I'll be so happy, right?
Yeah.
And with John Moxley, okay, I'll say this. I don't it doesn't bother me that he's winning. I do think that he can give someone an upset win, right?
Hmm.
Would have loved for it to be Mark Briscoe. I would say give Daniel Garcia.
Oh
One
yeah.
of those two would be a nice upset win, or Brody Lee. Yeah. So those three, even though they're on they're on a different block.
Right.
Daggone it, man. So what was that? So real quick, who's on his block again?
That's a
Roosh.
good question. Dolores,
So
do you know
Roosh,
who's on the blue block and who's in the gold block?
Roosh,
Hold on, let
Jay
me pull it up
Lethal,
for you.
Roosh, Jay Lethal, John Moxley, um, Mark Briscoe,
Yes.
Swerve.
Swerve, I believe
Those
that's right.
five. I mean, come on.
In the blue bracket, it is Brian Danielson, Andrade El Idolo, Brody King, Claudio Castagnoli, Daniel Garcia, Eddie Kingston. In the gold league, John Moxley, Swerve Strickland, Roosh, Mark Briscoe, Jay Lethal, Jay White.
Yeah, that's a tough bracket. I mean, yeah, there's
It really is.
both
So
sides. You can see winners coming, multiple people potentially winning either side. Honestly.
yeah. So okay. So yeah, I would have loved for the upset to be Mark Briscoe
Hmm.
or daggone it. I would say Jay White. We'll talk about more about Jay White later. But yeah, those are my thoughts.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go through two little segments. We had a pre-tape from Eddie Kingston putting over his hurt from the loss of Brody King, from losing Brody to Brody King, and he said he's not giving up. But
Yeah.
then we got Brian Danielson sitting in commentary. He promised he wouldn't be humble in his pursuit to be the first AEW Triple Crown champion.
Well,
Uh, Go ahead.
during the blood and guts match, and I think Jericho called. Uh, he said, Eddie. He said, Danielson, didn't Eddie tell you you were the pretentious prick? So he's like, so what? He is. And so, so it's nothing new that we haven't found out about him. But yeah,
Yeah.
Ladies and
Um.
gentlemen,
Go ahead.
are you, hey,
this is
go ahead.
Danielson's.
I was just said that was a classic Eddie promo, and Eddie's great when he's got the camera in front of his face for 2 minutes, and he can just be Eddie. And Danielson I thought was solid on commentary.
This is definitely Danielson's tournament to lose. We do have a couple of upset people. I know what I want the finale to be. Hopefully it happens. We'll see. But yeah, give me Danielson versus Eddie. I don't know when, I don't know where, but please do. Yes, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, next up was Continental Classic Gold League match. Roosh with gaining 3 points by defeating Mark Briscoe.
Yeah, this was fun. These two are just, ding the bell and go at it, right? Like 100 miles an hour. This starts in third gear. Both these guys start in third gear. So, and I'm a huge Rouge fan. I'm a huge Mark Briscoe fan. This was a great match. This is fun. I didn't really care who won. I just wanted to see it. And yeah, I mean, the fact that Rouge is in the block that he's in, and we know he's probably not going to win is saying a lot because Roosh is a hell of a wrestler, right? So as is Mark Briscoe. So,
Man.
but they're
Yeah.
probably not. When you look at all the other people in the tournament, those are the guys that are probably not winning, and it's. But man, that match was fun.
I love Rouge. I love Mark Briscoe. This consensual violence is what I love, right? I believe when they talk to Rouge, they're like, okay, this is how this match is gonna go. Move. He's going to go over you. You're going to win. I think only Rouge hears He's going to win. He don't hear the put over part. He's not gonna crap out of people. I'm like, sir.
Yeah,
He's gonna get the 1, 2, 3. You can't be killing them like this in the ring. I mean, you can, but just a little bit.
yeah. Yeah. Now Roosh is a beast. I mean, he's fun to watch.
I let's be clear. I do love it.
Yeah, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we had some wild and crazy guts. As Sting and Flair joined Tony Schiavone to announce the retirement match on March 3rd at Revolution in Greensboro Coliseum in Greensboro, North Carolina.
All right, real quick. I was on my phone. I was trying to do dual things. I stopped and I'm like, wait, time out. Cause I want to be very clear. At one point in time, I thought they announced that it was Flair was gonna be Sting's left point. I'm like, no. I'm like, what? No. What's going on? Like, okay, no, you're reminiscing. Okay. Then who? I was. It was who? I was very.
It was touch and go there for a minute. I was like, what are we doing? We're not going to see Sting versus Flair, right? No, come on, we're not doing that, right? Because that's really where it felt like it was going for a minute. And when it was over and done with, I was like, they didn't announce Sting versus Flair, right? That's not what this was, right? So
It
I'm still a
never
little
was.
unclear, but no, it's not. I don't think it's going to be. I think that's clear now that it's not. But yeah, I mean that's what it sounded like at first. And here's the thing, right? Like
Yeah.
I understand that these guys have a friendship, and I understand that it's even beyond that, right? I think isn't Sting Ric Flair's son-in-law in some weird connection or something like
Like in
that. He's related.
kayfabe or what?
No, 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 no. I think in real life somehow, maybe not a son-in-law, but they're connected somehow. I believe through marriage or somehow, some way, shape, or form. If I'm not mistaken, but
I think
either
you're
way,
correct.
whatever the case may be, like I understand that for the most part, Ric Flair's a national treasure as far as wrestling goes, and at the
Mhm.
same time, like at some point, it's also Ric Flair who doesn't have a great track record either, right? Like this is Ric Flair too, so like at what point does he? I mean, it's just I hate putting him. I hate still putting him on that pedestal. I don't necessarily. It's not as tough for me as it is with Hogan, but there's still a lot of baggage there, and it's like we're propping up a guy that probably doesn't really deserve it, anymore at this point. I mean, he just. And Sting talking about him being whatever and all this reverence, and it's like, okay, but this guy's a slime ball when it really boils down to it. Like, I don't know. I don't know how you reconcile those two, and I don't know. So,
But
yeah, it's
for
weird for
me,
me.
I think Sting's being too nice, and I
Yeah,
am mad that Ric Flair is part of his retirement. That's why I'm like, you should have given him this gift a month before Revolution. You not give him. We do not need 4 months of Flair. And
yeah,
more so, I'm mad because I go back to when Sting was up to the Hall of Fame, the E Hall of Fame, and they had Ric Flair doing the induction speech, and the speech was 25 minutes of Ric Flair talking about his doggone self and 5 minutes of him talking about Sting. I'm like, oh my god, bro, it's not about you. It's not. Yes, this is one of the greatest rivalries things. But you know what? He had a couple of more. It wasn't just you. I can name them all. If we were gonna pick, if you had the fans pick who we want to be Sting's that was part of Sting's past to be part of his last run, give me NWO, Kevin Nash, give me Kevin Nash on this run. I think that'd be way more entertaining than this. Yeah,
yeah,
give me Scott Steiner, give me Lex Luthor, because at least they're not trying to overshadow Sting, and I feel like that's what's happening with Rick. And if this is
sure.
Sting's last run, it should be about Sting. Not you, Rick. Sting.
Yeah, here's the thing that's tough about that, right? Because Ric Flair is Ric Flair, and Ric Flair almost overshadows everybody. That's why he's Ric Flair, right? I mean, it's he's such a big personality that almost everybody is falls underneath him to a certain extent. And Sting is one of those guys that's not one of those like overly outspoken type of guys or that what I mean? He's not one of those. He's more kind of an action kind of guy as opposed to a talker. Not that he can't talk on the microphone, that's not what I'm saying. But he doesn't have that like big boisterous personality that just fills a whole room like Ric Flair does. Like when Ric Flair is in the house. You know what I'm saying? And like
Yeah.
he commands the center of attention. That's just who he is. You know what I mean? Um, I think that's just his personality. So yeah, I mean, I think it's hard for anybody to not be overshadowed by Ric Flair. But yeah, no, you're right. I mean, and clearly Sting has a reverence for him that, as do a lot of the old wrestlers and even the younger guys too. But it feels misplaced sometimes because we all know that Ric Flair really isn't that great a human being. So
Yeah. No, no, no. I think I said this before about Tommy Dreamer and Ric Flair. I will never say who you can't be friends with. Well, like more so like 'cause I know those stories of being on the road together. They're a part of the greatest, probably greatest wrestling war that we will ever see, right? And so I know there's a bond that can't be broken. But you don't put on TV. Y'all can go to a bar or have
right,
dinner and reminisce
exactly.
by your doggone self, but you don't have to put it on TV, right? And and thinking back, Sting came AEW in 2020, right? So that was 3 years without Ric Flair. He was in TNA, and it was so many things he did without Ric Flair. Ric Flair is not tied to Sting's legacy. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's a very nice memory, but it doesn't have to be for the next March 3
And
freaking
again,
months.
no disrespect. I mean, Sting can do whatever he wants with his legacy, but if I'm Sting, I don't necessarily want my legacy hitched to Ric Flair. I mean, it's Ric
This
Flair. Like, I mean,
tight, this close, like
I mean,
bruh.
fuck. Like, yeah.
I
So it
hope
is what it is.
I hope they do the story we're talking about where yeah, where he beats Christian for the TNT title and have Darby beat him for his last match. Cause that ties into the TNA stuff and that ties into the AEW stuff. That would be a perfect ending.
If I'm not mistaken, which is why I was so freaked out during this promo, they still have not announced who his final match is going to be, right? They haven't said
They
it's going to
have
be Darby.
they have not. And like I
They have
said,
not.
Sting is nice, but I don't. I think even he knows that that Ric Flair's old behind cannot do one more match.
No,
Where
no, no.
you die a little bit in the ring one time, you don't got to do it again.
Yeah, no.
Ladies and gentlemen, we went on from that poop show to something a little bit better. We had MJF's promo.
Hmm. I'll say this:
Yes.
very
Good.
decent promo. Uh, I'm not sure. Well, I don't think anyone tells MJ what to do, right? But I think he felt in his mind, I had to say something about the CM Punk return, and he did a great job of not actually saying it and actually giving Samoa Joe the reverence. It came out of nowhere to me. So it's just like how it's like I know you're challenging Samoa Joe. I guess I'll say this: it went right into Samoa Joe and giving high praise, right? I guess I need a segue of why you're saying this about Samoa Joe, but it was good. That was just my thoughts.
Yeah, I'm not. It's A plus stuff, no doubt about it. I don't think anything he's doing right now is not in the A plus category. He's in his bag, no matter what it is. Personally, from my perspective and what I like, I'm not a big fan of the babyface MJF we're having at the moment. I prefer him just be the heel that you were that was maybe one of the best heels ever in wrestling. So the the old MJF would have said some nice things about Samoa Joe and then talked a lot of shit. You backhanded compliments, you know what I mean? But this
Yeah,
wasn't that. This is him actually, which is fine. I get it. But and here's the thing, like what I don't want to see is MJF promos to get predictable. He's now had a story about almost everybody. When I was a kid growing up, I came to see you and you
yeah,
didn't do this for me or you shrugged me off or you know what I mean, for everybody. And I get it. Maybe they're all 100% true. I'm not doubting they are. I
yeah.
just don't want it to get where MJF is now a formulaic promo. You know what I'm saying? Or
Most
it's
definitely,
like
yeah.
so. I mean, yes, this is great. Like I said, everything he's doing is A plus stuff. I just prefer him when he's being just a straight heel. So
So I think SP3 said it best. He's still figuring out what kind of baby face he is right now, right? when he had Adam Cole, it's like, okay, I can be my scumbag self, and Adam Cole will bring me out. But he doesn't have Adam Cole right now, so it's like, okay, do I right? Like when do I bring it? When do I bring scumbag out? When do I reel it in? It's a he said, am I heel? Hogan? Am I Hogan? I mean, sorry, not Hogan. Am I Austin in 1998 or am I Rock in 2000? I'm not sure. So he's still figuring it out.
Yeah,
He's whilst figuring it out, he's doing a decent job.
yeah,
But yeah, I it needs to be more smoother, right?
yeah, yeah. I didn't
Yeah,
think there was anything wrong with it. I don't have any complaints other than I just prefer him as a full-on heel. I'm just not, I just like it better that way. But there's nothing
good.
wrong with this. I mean,
Yes.
I don't have any
And I
problem
have more thoughts later on. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, just when I thought it was gonna pick up, Kirkland left. Warlow defeated
with
AR Fox by
But,
referee's decision.
wait. So after MJF does a promo, right? So the double people were going to attack him if Samoa
yes,
Joe saved him, and
yes.
the double person challenged him for a tag team match next week. Joe's like, relax, crackhead, and so emotionally, and so he was like, no, 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 we gonna finish this out. So is next week tag team match if
Well,
MJF the devil.
So,
I
so,
said stupid, but stupid's not the word. I'll be uninterested. That'll be a wet fart to me if he's the devil. Ugh,
so I guess so. Here's my question: next week, are they going to wrestle in devil masks? Are we actually going to find out who two of the devils are? And I mean, it clearly wasn't MJF last night because he was in the ring while the other four devils were in the ring with their masks on. That doesn't mean he couldn't be organizing in the background, but he
yeah,
clearly wasn't in the devil mask last night. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's MJF. I'd be surprised if that's the ultimate outcome. I don't know who it is, and I'm not sure when I play it in my head, like I'm not totally sure who I even want it to be. Like when they reveal that mask, it's got to be somebody cool and something special, but I don't know who that is
right.
at the moment. Like I can't even think of who that's gonna be or what would make it that. So, but I'm here for it. I'm here. So I have high hopes for it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, still
I'm very just.
interested.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm saying still very interested if it's MJF. I'm like, bruh. But yeah, what are you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna say Wardlow versus AR Fox. I was pissed about this. I'm a huge AR Fox fan. He fucking deserves better than this. I understand Wardlow's whatever, but this is give him somebody else. Like AR Fox deserves way better than this. If you're gonna serve somebody up to Wardlow, I don't give him somebody else, but not AR Fox. AR Fox deserves way better than this. This pissed me off. It looked like they were pushing Fox for a little bit a couple months ago. He got a few wins. He had some TV time, and then I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on, but yeah, this pissed me off.
I going back to All In. Like I know he didn't tell you about his visa stuff, but Ray Phoenix can get into the country half the time. You don't do this to Ray Phoenix either. So it's
Yeah,
like, him and Swerve was great. I know we got to move forward, but like you said, I love AR Fox, and I just met the man this year, last year, right?
yeah,
I haven't known him that well, but I do want more for him. So I don't know what
yeah.
that is, but at least try to figure it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, after that poop of a show, we continue on. Austin Andrade, Hey Cheetah, and top five, Dante Martin and Darius Martin defeated Isaiah Cassidy and the Hardys, Jeff and Matt Hardy.
Oh my God, this is AEW, and this is a perfect example of AEW in a microcosm. This is exactly what's 100% right and 100% wrong with AEW, in my opinion. Dante Martin back. I was so ecstatic. I love Top Flight. I love them with Action Andretti. I think they're the future, right? If they can stay healthy as a
That
trio,
part.
as a tag team, Top Flight. And then you have them up against Matt and Jeff Hardy, who should not be doing this anymore. I apologize. They are too old to be doing what they're doing at this point. what Matt Hardy was doing a few months ago or 6 months ago was somewhat okay because he was kind of stay on the mat, Matt Hardy. But these two trying to fly around still and have a match with 25 or 27-year-old guys that are really athletic now, it looks really, really bad. It looked really bad. And I feel bad for Isaiah Cassidy because he's got those skills, but he's hooked to fucking Matt and Jeff Hardy at the moment, who shouldn't be on TV doing this at the moment,
All right.
unfortunately.
So with Matt, no, I think that Hardy can still go. Right, I did love the match between him and Action Andretti. I love that. Right, I do agree with you about Isaiah. I wonder when his partner is coming back. Right,
Yeah.
because in my mind, either he should partner with him, have Pride Party come back, or push him as a competitor. Right,
Yeah.
like you should be using the Hardys to push Isaiah Cassidy, right? On the flip part of it, yes, I'm so glad Top Flight is back. The House of Half Black looks better than ever with Action Andretti. I will say this, right? I know you're trying to get views, but ain't nobody needs to see how Dante hurt his leg. All right, talk about, well, you might want to look away. No, you should have said, we're gonna show you how this crackhead emotionally broke his leg. It's gonna be real gory and nasty. If you cannot take this, turn your channel. Not, you might want to turn your channel.
Allegedly.
But yeah, no one needs to watch that on Wednesday night on a regular scheduled program.
I just want to see Top Flight or House of Half Black against their contemporaries. And next week we're gonna get that, right? After the match, we got geez, remind me. I'm trying. It's three luchadors, but
They're
it's
going to do an
Penta and
interview.
Phoenix and Commander.
So Penta was just like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Penta El Zero Miro, and Heel Devil Kingo, and Commander is to the challenge
Okay.
to the
Okay,
Winter's
that's right.
stage.
Not Ray
It was
Phoenix. Ray
so
Phoenix is still
smooth.
out. That's right.
It was just
So
like
that for
one,
me,
two, three.
that's perfect. That's where
Yeah.
Top Flight and Action Andretti have to be. Not wrestling Matt and Jeff Hardy at this point. It's just not. That's just
I
not.
am conflicted because I don't want Penta or Vikingo to lose. So I'll be at my edge of my seat, but I am conflicted. But I love
Yeah.
how Penta, like, it was so easy. Like, 1, 2, 3.
2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's gonna be
Listen,
an
ladies and
amazing match.
gentlemen. Listen, ladies and gentlemen. After the last two matches, this is how I felt.
man.
I just
Oh.
bashed my head into glass and hope for better days. And then came the AEW TBS title house rules match with Julia, the champion, defeating Emily Sakura. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, again, I think Emmy is now becoming Rocky Romero.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
compare it to Nyla Rose. Every time someone wins, she has to be the first person. I don't like it. I don't even see her lose this much on TV when she is this good. I get it, but I don't like it.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that. I mean, I always, praise Emmy. I'm a huge Emmy fan. She's one of my favorite women wrestlers on the planet. Um, and I Julia Hart, they're pushing her big time. This is her run. It's a solid win for her in her title run. I don't like Julia Hart beating Emi Sakura. I just don't. I mean, I don't. In my head, there's no way those two step in the ring and Emi ever loses to her. So, I mean, that's just my personal opinion, just about their wrestling styles. So there's a little bit of this is one of those where it's really hard for me to have my willing suspension of disbelief. But they like Julia at the moment, and they've been, Emmy has not gotten a fair shake in AEW
Yeah.
ever. So it is what it is, and clearly she's n- not complaining or happy with what she's doing. I mean, I don't. She must be because she's continuing to stay there. So, but I think she
Well,
deserves more. I think she deserves more.
like I'm not
I
like,
mean,
yeah. Go Dolores.
I think sometimes I want to clarify for people when they say she might be okay with it. Maybe she don't have a choice.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
because
true.
WWE and other companies. What you gonna do? Go to GCW? Impact ain't knocking. WWE ain't knocking. So you gotta stay where you at if you want to stay where you at.
That might very well be true. Maybe AEW is the only one giving her an opportunity at the moment. I mean, that might be true.
Uh, that's
If
true.
it
You
is,
can't.
that's a
Yeah,
shame. If the fact
yeah.
that nobody else can see the value in Emi Sakura besides Tony Khan, and all he sees is what he sees, that's a damn shame because everyone's eyes are closed then. Everyone's fucking blind.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. And I'll just say this, right? She is one of the elder women on this show, so I kind of get why she doesn't win that much, but she is a legend, right? So can we at least get her to win a couple of times on TV? So when she does lose, it means so much more.
Yeah.
Just give me that.
Yeah. Yep.
Next up, ladies and gentlemen, was where we started getting good. Christian Cage responded to Adam Cole.
so so first things first, we didn't say what happened on Collision. Copeland straight up kill switch. I
Oh
said
yes.
I just said kill switch because it went when I said, but he straight up murdered him, right? Concerto strangled him with the one bar from the chair, and he
Yep.
challenged Copeland to the match. So as of right now, he concertoed Nick Wayne and Luchasaurus. So Christian has
Yes.
nobody, and this is what
Nobody.
nobody. Sorry, and so this leads to Christian like being, coming with a choke from his legs on at the ring, talking about we finally get the Edge no daddy speech. We know it was coming. We didn't know when. It's finally here. Christian talking about I'm sorry. I took a ride down the road. I remember our freaking pet turtle. I don't know his name, but and so you know what? I was tripping. I was tripping. You was right, right? You know, when we grew up, you ain't had no daddy. The crowd was like, ooh. But you know what? It's like I'm not your daddy. I'm your brother. My daddy took you in and he disciplined you and was your fan girl and then your mom and then like so no dad. We had a dead mom. And so it's like and your mom who passed away from cancer. She was like, I want to see y'all one more time. So come on, let's do what you said. Let's be a team. Let's do it for the let's do it for Judy. You might
For Judy. For the Jude Meister.
that was so stupid. It's so
Ah.
stupid. And we knew he was full of crap, but he did splendidly. And thankfully, Adam knew too, which led to a knee to the ball. And it was like, I can't cut you said AOW. Nice try.
Yeah, nah, I mean this is great, right? I mean this is Christian at his best, and this is great heel work because this is the slimy heel work, right? Where like he tries to appeal to your better senses. He's stuck in a corner, he can't get out. He's backpedaling quick. He's trying to save himself. All those things, right? Because he knows it's coming. And now Kill Switch and Nick Wayne aren't there, so yeah. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna try to make you think we're friends and buddies, and as soon as you turn around, I'm gonna try to hit you with the belt, but Edge. Adam Copeland is a little too smart for him, as well he should be.
Mhm.
Everyone should have seen that coming.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's still. I mean, this was great. This might have been. It might have been the best segment of the show this week, but
it
it
definitely
was
was.
it's a lot of fun. Like these two
Yeah.
together have always been gold, and this is no different. I mean, they're still killing it.
I was going to refresh my memory. Did they ever have a match against each other in WWE? I'm really trying to think. I don't think so.
I'm trying to remember too.
They
I
had
know
good
somebody could tell
feuds.
us that. I mean, I can't imagine that they haven't at some point, but my recollection is so bad that I couldn't tell you for sure. But I
If
can't imagine this is the first time. But maybe, I mean, yeah,
if they did, I think this rivalry beats the first one way more. And and so and Adam Copeland is splendid with first thing and then like shine it up because I'm taking it home next week. And by the
yeah,
way, go f yourselves, Mister
yeah,
the dude on the button. I
yeah.
need you to pay attention. All you have to do is hit a button to mute the cuss word. You was getting paid to hit a button, and you are not doing your job.
And Edge's facial expressions are some of the best in the game. Just watching his eyes and his expressions on his face as Christian's talking, you can just see he just runs the whole gamut of emotions. Like when he hits him with his dad and then his mom, and like his eyes and shit, you can just see like the intensity change. And yeah, now Christian is so fucking slimy and such a douchebag. It's amazing, dude. He's great. He's great at the moment. I mean, it just might be the best Christian's ever been in his career, and that's saying a lot
Right?
because
Yeah.
he's had a Hall of Fame career, no doubt, and this might be the best he's ever been.
Well, I can't wait for next week. I can't.
Yeah,
Ladies and gentlemen, for the last match of the night, we're about to put up one of the most viral, funniest things ever. Why Strickland in the Golden League match for the Continental Classic beat Jay White. There we go. Get it. And he was getting it. On the crutch.
Nana on the crutch. Nothing will stop that man from getting down. No, Nana's great. I love Nana. This match, I mean, Swerve is right. He's killing it at the moment between his match with Hangman at Full Gear and then this match. I mean, he's killing it at the moment, and everything he's doing looks great. He's everything on the microphone is coming off great at the moment. Yeah, I mean he's in his bag, so I'm here for this again with the what is it? I think it's 12 people that are in this tournament ultimately, and all
Mhm.
the big names and being round robin. Some people have to take losses. I still think we haven't seen Jay White properly booked or used yet in AEW, and he took a loss here, but it's Swerve who I love, so I'm not mad at it. And like I said, Swerve is so hot and on fire at the moment that it makes sense, but I, it just sucks for Jay White too.
I have some thoughts. I'm gonna try to make them clear and not rush. Uh, so this was heel versus heel, but ever since Full Gear, they're chanting Swerve, and rightfully so, right? And so I thought, as much as a couple of people were like, this match would end the draw, and I would be perfectly fine with that. But no, Swerve wins, and I am not mad at that, right? Because like, let's go, let's keep the momentum going. Because if at least what we all think it should lead to him being AEW World Champion, yes, give him as much wins as possible. To Jay White, right? He won. I mean, he lost. He lost. He looks devastated, and it's like, bro, you do realize there are people who have less points than you, right? At least you won, right? At least you won one. But the look in his eyes leave me hopeful that either he goes back crack crazy and just start murdering people, or he goes. Hopefully, this starts his own story of him getting either back to being pure New Japan Jay White, or doing something totally crazy where he'll win at all costs, right? So I am hopeful of that.
Yeah,
Back to Swerve, right? Swerve's in his bag. People are finally he's finally at the level we thought he should have been 2 years ago, right?
yeah,
For me, I going back to MJF, right? He was why he babyface? Because people were chanting him, and it was like, you know what? I'll finally give in. I'll be babyface for a minute, and he's trying to figure it out, right? I don't want that to happen to Swerve, right? So that's why I'm like, I don't. Yes, they're chanting, and you should chant, but I don't think Swerve shouldn't be a heel right now. I think he should still be a heel. I think he should still be who he is, right? Do not go off the course. The course
yeah.
is great. So I'm like, after this tournament, do something real heelish and
Real heelish,
like
yeah.
go 2000 Triple H when we try to when we finally try to root for that sucker, but then he puts a black glove on and say, I know who hit Stone Cold. Do that. You can wait till after the tournament, but I definitely think that should be needed. But no, great match. Still hopeful that everyone will come up better than they leave better than they left. But yeah, all around good show.
Sammy's comment here is interesting. He thinks Swerve and Claudio are going to be in the finals of this tournament, and I have no problem with either of those guys. I just when I look at the names on these lists, I'm not sure. For me personally, it feels like I want to see Eddie and Moxley. That to
Hmm.
me seems like the
Yeah.
Mox is already strong in his
Yes.
bracket, and I don't want to see Eddie lose those titles yet. So I want to see Eddie win this tournament, like, and so he's got to be in the finals. So it's got to be Eddie for me on that side, and I don't know. I think Moxley or Swerve's coming out of that other side. So
But this is Danielson's tournament to lose,
who,
right?
right? I mean, how can you bet
Right?
against the side? Maybe the best wrestler on the planet, right? Like,
Yeah. And so realistically, I think it should be Swerve versus Danielson in the finals. I
ah.
think that's what should happen. I'm with you. I'm with you. I think TK should have told Eddie, no, you're not gonna do both titles. Maybe one, but not both. But realistically, I got Danielson versus Swerve. I
Yeah,
do.
yeah. It's gonna be fun. It's fun. I really like this. I think
Definitely.
this is fun. The G1's always fun, and I think that the only problem with the G1 is that it's so much and so they have so many guys in such a short period of time that it's too condensed. This they
Hmm.
don't have quite as many guys, so they let it breathe a little bit better. But I really
Yeah,
like this. This is I'm a tournament guy. I like tournaments in general, and I really enjoy
me
this.
too.
So
Definitely better than last week. I'll say they went up a notch this week. I'll say that definitely.
yeah, I would agree. And yet I didn't think last week was bad either. I mean,
It
I think the
wasn't.
whole tournament so far has been really strong.
Yeah, it wasn't. It just like they went on another level. Definitely.
Did New Japan get an opinion on who's winning?
Mm. Um, all I have to say today was it was a good episode. Ladies and gentlemen, if Samoa Joe wins the title, I'm gonna bash my TV screen in because you have Swerve, a superstar who can keep up with the daily grind to do this. But if you give it to Samoa Joe, I will bash my TV. Because that means
Well,
you're still again in line. And this time I'm on the thing you don't like us. Because you're skipping us over and over and over for other people who should get it. Samoa Joe, great talent, but shouldn't be the next world champion.
I mean, circumstances around it can make it okay for me. Because Samoa Joe is that dude, always been that dude, and the stuff that he did to save All In, honestly, he should get rewarded for that, right? And so I don't. So we have a month, right? And we have we. I don't think anything should be abrupt, right? If Swerve beats it off Samoa Joe, I'm fine with that. If MJF wins it back from Samoa Joe, and then Swerve beats MJF, I'm fine with that, right?
I
So
just got a
again,
question. How many transitional champions has it been in AEW? Every time everybody says transitional champion, tell me
all right,
transitional AEW world champions. And
the
were they transitional for a week, a month, a couple of days, years? How much?
so bypass everyone else for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. I don't think there's has been no transitional champions. So for that that division, we can have one. We can't have no more for the women. Dog, sweet Jesus, no more for the women. Uh, the international championship, we
To
can
be
do
a
one more.
transitional champion. He made
But
her have it for months.
who? What? Who?
He let Sriracha hold the championship for months. He didn't even let her uh like transition it to somebody else. She had to hold it for months.
That's what I'm saying.
Britt Baker had it for a month.
In a
Thunder
vacuum,
Rosa had it for months and couldn't even defend it. It's like
just
he does not believe and just letting somebody drop it and move on.
just for the men in the men World Heavyweight Championship, we can have one. We can do one. Everyone else doesn't need that. But for the World Heavyweight Championship division, we can have one.
Sammy is talking about the mid title people, and I
Yeah,
think
he
all
is.
those transitional champions were transitional because of Cody. The acting at the time EVP.
Well, Scorpio, like I don't even want to talk about them dark times because Scorpio and Sammy Guevara was dark times that you will not make me relive. Right? Wardlow was just confusing. Like y'all
That
did
was
not know how to
bad. That
book
was
that
horrible.
dude.
Nobody shouldn't have. He shouldn't have it. And Hobbs, he got almost there, and then they were like, "Let's
That
take you back
wasn't
down."
so. Honestly, all those weren't transitional. They were just crappy reigns. I like everyone was meant to win the championship, but they were so crappy they didn't know what to do. Like it's too bad. We're gonna give it to you. Wait, give it back. It was literally like that. Like transitional means that we're waiting for someone to get better to hold the title. All of those they were supposed to have the title. It just wasn't good reigns.
Listen, I'm over it because at this point, I've seen Scorpio Sky hang out like Batman in the rafters, and it's not working. I need some. Thunder Rosa has been. I'm going to pop you both, and never did anything else. We need to do something, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna quickly preview quick Rampage and Collision that we're going to be watching here on Workhouse Wrestling Network. Friday is Rampage 12-1. We have Danhausen, Hook, Orange Cassidy, and Trent Beretta versus Angelo Parker, Matt Menard, and the Dark Order, Alex Reynolds, and Evil Uno with Jake Hager in that corner.
Mhm.
The Don Callis family, Kenosuke Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher, and Powerhouse Hobbs with Don Callis in their corner versus Jossie, Kit Sackett, and Rennie D. Listen, we already know how they go. Hikaru Shida, Chris Statlander, and Sky Blue versus Anna Jay and the Outcast of Ruby Soho and Saraya. And then the last match listed was El Hijo del Vikingo, Commander Penta Romero, and Alex Abrahantes in their corner versus Brian Cage and the Workhorsemen, Anthony Henry and JD Drake with Prince Nana in their corner.
On paper, that's the only one that interests me at all.
Uh,
Tune in
home.
tomorrow for
That's,
our watch along.
that's what I'm gonna say. Saturday, it's 12-2, next day, Collision. For the Continental Classic Blue League, we have Claudio Castelloli versus Brody King. Listen,
That should
it's
be a
late.
really good match. That should be a banger.
For the Blue League match, we have Andrade El Idolo versus Daniel Garcia. And the
Yeah, we've
last
seen
match
that.
that was listed for the Blue League, Brian Danielson versus Eddie King.
That's a stacked dynamite. I mean, we've seen the one in the middle, Andrade
No,
versus
that's
Daniel.
that Collision. That's Collision.
That's what I meant. That's a stacked collision. We've seen we've seen Andrade versus Daniel Garcia before, so it is what it is. But Danielson versus Eddie Kingston should be insane. So yeah, it's
I,
gonna be a solid collision,
I don't know, but I haven't seen a G1 yet, and I know they start out with bankers, but it's like Eddie Keaton versus Danielson,
right?
Swerve
Don't hurt.
versus
Don't hurt
like
yourself. Don't hurt
Swerve
yourself.
versus
And yes and no. Like G1 has so many more participants that you don't necessarily get quite this extreme, like, in the first rounds. I mean, you can, but you don't necessarily always.
but I do feel like in my mind I'm like Danielson versus Kingston,
I know,
Jay
right?
White versus Swerve. Those are not
Those should be
pretty big
semifinals or
matches.
finals matches, right?
Those are
Like, I mean,
final matches. Yes.
exactly, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to get up, get the out of here, okay?
Let's get the
And
fuck
let
out of here.
me, yep,
Yep.
Sammy, ALW, Anika, and CM will be doing the horsey.
Why do you think how are you getting that of doing the horsies? You got to put in your picks too?
I will. sign off on anything. It can be graphic, but I ain't get caught up in that. Ladies and gentlemen, um, we're gonna get up out of here, but we're gonna start out by saying, please click the link for the donation for the wrestling club. Uh, so you can give these kids a once in a lifetime experience. They are going to the road to WrestleMania 40. As you see there, director Victor Perry's Twitter is at the bottom at Wildfire Perry. And please, these kids either financially can't make it on their own or parents are busy working to provide for them. Please help them make their dreams come true to go to WrestleMania 40 and the activities around it. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, if you see this icon, YouTube audio, that is the cookout where we all get together to feed you real good on wrestling topics and fire games. And now, great interviews. Because yesterday we had an interview with, not yes, was it yes? No, Tuesday. Sorry. The days all get caught up. Tuesday with Santana Jackson that is now on all our platforms. If you listen to it on YouTube audio, you were live listening to us have a good fun time. Ladies and gentlemen, you can find the Cookout Podcast on Amazon Music, Spotify, YouTube Audio, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and now Radio Republic. Okay? So again, Amazon Music, Spotify, YouTube Audio, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and Radio Republic. Okay? If you saw this on YouTube audio, that's our watch along. So like tomorrow and Saturday and any pay per views we have, you can listen along. Listen, we all know you busy. You got a life. You got kids. You got responsibilities. You got a job. You might be driving home. Don't miss out on the fun. Listen, have a good time, all on YouTube audio live. Okay. Also, ladies and gentlemen, this is our schedule for the week. Monday, you come to see me and Jay News talk about the indies, seeing stars from places like GCW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Wrestling Revolver, Noah, Stardom, everywhere you can think of, we're there, okay? So make sure you're there at 10 a.m. on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Just let's just say YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch for everything now because that's where we at. Tuesday, you find us at the cookout having guest interviews, playing fire games, spitting out good knowledge and having a good time. Because if you pull up a seat, you will leave full because we will feed you real good at 10:30 p.m. on Tuesday. Ladies and gentlemen, live. Normally, last night was a little late. Sorry. Some of us don't feel too well. But normally at 10:15 p.m. on Wednesday night, you get all four at night. They do all things WWE. Okay? So yesterday they reviewed Survivor Series and they did NXT and Raw. Okay? Normally it's just Raw NXT, but they will preview and review any pay-per-views from WWE. Ladies and gentlemen, Thursday night is Aftermath of Dynamite here at 10:15. So, ladies and gentlemen, you come for everything AEW. We were gone, so we didn't give you our opinions of Full Gear, but we did it tonight, okay? So we reviewed Full Gear, we went over Collision and Rampage from the week before, we went over Dynamite from yesterday, and we previewed Collision and Rampage for the next 2 days. Ladies and gentlemen, on Friday nights at 8 p.m., you catch Anika and Sammy Joe. We don't see a Sammy show up on Friday. Sammy Joe, and they are the kids and they are running the asylum, ladies and gentlemen. You'll never know what they say or do. Live at 8 p.m., where they start off with SmackDown and then move into AEW Rampage. Saturday morning at 11 a.m., you catch the parents of Workhorse Wrestling Network, ALW and CM, at 11 a.m. in the morning, talking all things under the radar, such as BTE, ROH, Impact, MLW. All short and sweet. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, all these shows, they keep it short and sweet enough for you to get it and be able to tell your friend to tell a friend. Okay, 11 a.m. on Saturday. Saturday night, Black Girl Magic in the building, where you catch me, Dolores, Anika, and CM doing that. Saturday night is All Right AEW Collision Watch Along. Ladies and gentlemen, I always say you will leave a better man or woman than you came when you come at 8 o'clock on Saturday night. Ladies and gentlemen, we will help heal your soul with that black girl magic everywhere, just everywhere. Bling, 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 spreading it everywhere. Okay? Pause. Ladies and gentlemen, Sunday at 11 a.m., you catch ALW and Slam and Sammy Joe fighting it out on Into the Square Circle. And they have tournaments, they have fun. And when I mean these two grown men be battling out, they battling it out, and I can't help but watch it. I'm glued to the TV screen, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you there. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, you see this right here. You know where we at. You know where to find us. When I
Everywhere.
say you know where to find us, you find us where? Everywhere. Okay? Because we
Everywhere.
are everywhere. We worldwide, baby. We on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, Threads, Discord, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Okay? Let me say it for you people in the bushes in the back. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Threads, Discord, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Listen, I'm everywhere you wanna be. How about that? So, ladies and gentlemen, the ALW Director of Chaos here and the Ruby Queen, Anika, are going to cut the lights out. As soon as I find the light, there we go. Cut the lights out and give you a fond farewell because it's time to go to bed and we got to do this all over again. Until then, peace.
Bye.
Peace.